Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Aris and Greece Build a Nation. And on this episode we will see our fate with Greece as we play our Euros Nations qualifiers. Well, some of them, not all of them, as that will take so long in this video. But we will also see our summer transfer window with Aris, our Champions League qualifying campaign and our Champions League games up until around just before the January transfer window. We'll cover our league games, our European games and crucially our cup games, which we didn't win last season and we are aiming to win this season, which will be, we need to. First up, we had Paraguay and we put them to the sword 3-0. Pavlidis scored the first goal with a great assist. And then we went on to score the second in the 21st minute as Limenos marauded down the right wing, and it was a crossing and Kiridopoulos at the back post tapped it in for an easy goal. It was a very easy performance from the lads as well. We deserved the third goal after the second half in the 45th minute. But after that, nothing happened. Shimikas, another tap in. Great football. Come on, the boys. Our summer transfer window has been a super busy one, and we've made more money than we've actually spent, which is something I was always keen on doing in the first few seasons so we can build up the finances of the club. We had to let a few players go. Ruben Pardo, Moses Adebayo, Fran Veliz, all wanted to go. They wanted new contracts and they wanted ridiculous money. They were on like 3-4 grand a week, and then they wanted 15 grand a week. We wasn't going to 5x their salary, so we shipped them off. Ruben Pardo will be a bit of a miss, to be honest. He is a good player and was a good player for us last season, getting 9 goals in 30 appearances in the league. It's a very good record for a midfield player. He went off and got the money that he wanted at Al Tawoon, and we wished him the best of luck. He has been a very good player for us. He just was getting a bit greedy. Adebayo again was being very greedy, but went to Kiryas Sotobev in Russia for 3k a week, which he was on at our club, so he could have stayed. He chanced his arm. Fair play to him. It didn't work out this time. And then Fran Veliz was another player. He is getting on a bit. He's 33. He wanted a 3-year contract and he wanted 9 grand a week. It wasn't going to happen. So we shipped him off to Abha. I don't know where they're from, but he's playing there and he's on a couple of grand a week. So good luck to him. He was good for us last season. Very solid defender. But the reinforcements have been brought in and we've got some unbelievable signings this year. Kicking it off with Mario Giller at centre-back. We bought him from Lazio, only 6 games from Lazio, former Real Madrid academy product. He is our best centre-back, and this is a player I'm really keen on seeing this season. I feel like he's going to be a future club captain, an Aris legend in the making. The 23-year-old centre-back has got big boots to fill after he's filling Fran Veliz's. We brought in a sub-winger in Juan Ortola, recommended by our scouts. We needed a bit more depth on the right and left wing. He can play at cam as well. So this is exactly what he'll do. He'll be an off-the-bench impact player, and hopefully he can develop, because we need to develop players in this squad. Didn't think we would get Brandon Williams. We needed a left-back because we had injury problems at left-back last season and suspension issues. So Brandon Williams was available on a free. A lot of clubs were bidding for him. Ipswich bidded for him again, Norwich bidded for him, loads of other clubs, and he decided to come and play Champions League football with Aris, so fair play to the lad. He's probably not going to be here for a long time because I don't know sure how long we can keep him for, but if we get 7 million for him, that would be absolutely insane profit for the club there. We need a new goalkeeper. Cuesta last season was a bit of a hero for us, but he had terrible injury problems, and we've brought in Belgian international Koen Casteels, who is going to be our #1 for the next couple of seasons, I would say. Although if we did get an £8 million bid for him, we would ship him off tomorrow. But he's a big signing from Wolfsburg. 245 games for them. A great, great goalkeeper. And he's bringing a ton of experience to the club. I'm very excited about having Casteels. His understudy and long-term replacement, Ayesa. Recommended by the scouts. He was at Real San Sebastian. He's played for Numancia as well. He's going to be back up this season. Probably playing the cup games with the easier games in the league as well. Give him a bit of experience. See if we can develop him. I'm quite keen on developing the players that we've brought in this squad. Other players we've brought in and I'm very excited about is Marcelo Allende. The Chilean left winger was playing out in South Africa. We got him on a free. 10 caps for Chile, 1 goal, can play across the front line, can play central midfield, versatile player, exactly what we need. He's going to be our starting right winger this season. We needed a right back as Adebayo left, and Albi Doka was on a free. The Albanian international is a good rotation option at right back. I think him and Montoya can teach him a lot. I feel like he's going to be a player at the club that will turn into a bench player at some point, but he is our best right back at this stage. We are in desperate need of a very good right back. to be honest with you. Ignacio Ramirez, as we said on previous episodes, is the competition for Lauren. He's been in Uruguay his whole career, 97 goals and 215 appearances. So he's almost a 1-in-2 type striker, which is exactly what we need. Lauren had big injury problems last season, and we need a proper backup for him. And I feel like Ignacio Ramirez could be that guy. Just got a good feeling about him. And then, like MB, another centre-back, the young man's just made his debut for Cameroon as well. He's got 2 caps and a goal for them. He's going to be a long-term centre-back at the club. I know he develops. He develops on FM23, so I want to give him the chance in FM24 as well. I feel like he could be a big player for the club. Him and Gilla this season is going to be absolute top-notch. And then to wrap it all up, we got Greek international Sortis Alexandropoulos on loan from Sporting Lisbon, the ball-winning midfield player. We have a future fee involved of 1.6 million as well. He was on a loan at Olympiacos last season. I'd definitely buy him at the end of the season. We need Greek talent in our squad, and he was one of the best Greek players that we could get. I'm excited to see how far we go this season. After our exploits in the Conference League last season, the Greek League has shot up the rankings for the continental reputation of leagues. It's gone from the 21st to the 14th best league in Europe now. I think that's an absolute massive leap for the Greek league. As you can see, we've gone above leagues like the Czech First Division, the Skybet Championship, and we're competing with leagues now like the Ukrainian Premier League, the Turkish, the Swiss, and the Austrian, getting closer to the SPL as well as we move further up these rankings. I think that's unbelievable to do in the first season, and we're getting there towards making the Greek League the strongest league in Europe. Our Champions League qualification started off against Legia Warsaw, and we put them to the sword over 2 legs, beating them 6-1 on aggregate, beating them 2-1 at home and then 4-0 away from home. The pick of the goals here from Ortola. We now move on to FSCB. FCSB gave us a real scare as they beat us 1-0 at home, and then we had to go to their stadium to pull it back, and we beat them 2-0. Briga, the hero of the Conference League final, whipped in the first goal, and then it was a last-minute penalty from Allende to send us through to play Maccabi Tel Aviv. Back-to-back 1-0 wins ensured that we went through to the Champions League stage after beating Maccabi Tel Aviv. After qualifying for the Champions League stage and before the first international break of the season, we are sitting top of the league. 3 games, 3 wins. Vladimir Darida somehow is top goal scorer in the league. Don't ask me how. He's been banging in goals left, right and centre. We've got 9 points, 8+ goal difference. Olympiacos are having a stronger season than they did last season, so they're going to be our main threat in the early doors of the season. That's in my opinion, but taking a look at our squad, I just want to highlight a few players that have been absolutely smashing for us and absolutely key. Some new signings as well. So I'm going to start first with the new signings that we made since you last saw. It's Yuki Soma. We got him on a free transfer. I really wanted to buy him because he was Japanese and he's going to sell shirts in Japan. You know, building that commercial income for the club is going to really help long term. And he's a good player as well. 11 caps for Japan, 4 goals, and he's worth 5 million. He hasn't set the world on fire, but he's been fairly consistent and is our best right winger, I have to say. A young man that I didn't expect much of. When I signed Ortola, I said he was going to be a bench player, and that's what he's been. But he's been coming off the bench, scoring goals, assists, playing the ball before the assists as well. So he's a young man that I'm very excited to see how he goes in our team, especially we got him for cheap. He's on a cheap wage. The only way he's up for Ortola, to be honest with you. But the player that has surprised me the most is Ignacio Ramirez. We didn't have a goal scorer last season in Lauren. He kept getting injured, was in and out of the team, didn't score goals. But Ramirez has come in and he's scored goals. He's got 2 goals in 3 league games. And he's also got 2 goals off the bench in the Champions League as well, which is absolutely class. He's a better goal scorer than what we've had. But he isn't the best striker. But I did say at the start of this episode that he will be very key for us. An unimpressive start to our Nations League qualifying culminated in a 1-1 draw with Sweden. They went through on goal with Quaison and he put them ahead, but we fought back at home and Sweden were very much the better team. This Greek side has got a long way to go. That win against the Netherlands was a long time ago now, and the left midfield player headed it in to equalise to bring 1-1. This was subsequently added to by a 0-0 draw with Iceland away from home. We were very, very poor. We didn't take our chances. It's going to be a long way if we are going to get promoted into the Nations League. Honestly, I think we're better off staying in the Nations League B. If we go into A, we'll get smashed in the next Nations League and get relegated. So we're not quite ready to take that step yet. But it's promising signs for the Greek national side, unbeaten in our Nations League qualifying. Our Champions League campaign kicked off with an absolute humiliation by Newcastle United. They are one of the best teams in this save. They thumped us 6-1, but gifting Isaac goals like that was not the one. We then followed this up with more disappointment away to Slavia Prague, who absolutely battered us. We didn't even deserve the point, but Lauren put us in front. We've got 1 draw and 1 defeat from our opening 2 Champions League games. It's going to be tough. Putting our Champions League woes away to one side, our league form has been perfect. After 8 games going into the second international break of the season, we are sitting top, 25 goal difference, 24 points, 8 wins from 8. Our players are scoring goals. Lauren is now getting the goals he has in the league. He's got 6. Last season he got 10. He's going to surpass that in the next few games. We're absolutely barren teams. Yuki Sommer has been an assist machine. Same with Manu Garcia. It's been absolutely great. And as you can see, our league form, like I said, has been perfect. We've put teams like Panathinaikos away. We've put teams like Pastiana away as well as PAOK in the derby. Going into this international break, we do have 2 home games. The first of our home games was against Northern Ireland. They were very hard to break down, but after a red card, Sotris on loan at Aris put us in front to win the game. We then had a tricky game against Iceland, but we put them to the sword. Shimikas' ball in and Bakasetas with the headed goal. The goalkeeper could have done much better for the first one, but the goals were continuing to flow as we brought the game forward in a 4-0 win, and the pick of the goals was this one. Again, it was Sortis, the hero in the first game, puts us 2-0 up in this game and finished them off. And that leaves us unbeaten in this group so far with 8 points, sitting second in the group. We've got 2 games left, Sweden and Northern Ireland away. 3 points out of that is going to be fine. I don't see us beating Sweden away. But we are going to stay in the European League Division B for the next Nations League, which is huge for Greece. After the Nation League's break, our league form has continued in the same vein as it has all season. We are currently still unbeaten in the league. 10 wins, 2 draws, 0 defeats, plus 31 goal difference, 32 points. Olympiacos are keeping pace with us. They're unbeaten as well. And we do have to play them after the international break. As you can see, we have had some decent form in the league. We got a 1-1 draw against Manchester City, which was in the Champions League, which was unbelievable. We should have won that game as well. We had a disallowed goal, but it doesn't mean anything. A point against City at home is a big improvement, I think, in the Champions League form. We then went to Kifisia and beat them 5-1 at home. That was an easy game. Wanted revenge after they knocked us out of the cup last season. Milan beat us 2-1 after a sending off, and we just beat AEK Athens in a big game before the end of the international break. 3-1. As I said, we've got Olympiacos coming up with Antwerp at home, PAOK in the derby as well. So some big league games after we play Sweden away and Northern Ireland away. But before we get into those games, I wanted to show you some of the players that have been performing for us so far this season. And for me, Brandon Williams, on a free transfer, has been one of my best signings in Football Manager 24 thus far. He's been absolutely class, improving all the time. He's a quality right or left back for the squad, which is exactly what we needed. He always plays in the big games, not injured, never gets sent off. He's unbelievable. If you haven't had him before, he's a great player for this league. Other players that have really stepped up is Marcelo Allende. He did get sent off against AC Milan and cost us maybe a point in that game, but it's Milan away, so it's all hypotheticals. But he's improving. He's been getting better. He came in from the South African League. 1 goal in 10 isn't the goal return ratio that I wanted for him, but he is improving. And he's that player, like I always say, plays the balls before the assists and before the goals. So he's one of those players that is a great squad member. One player I do want to bring in, if we do get the transfer budget, is Sorteris. As you've seen, he's been crucial for the Greek national team. He is a homegrown player. He's probably one of the best young Greek central midfield players we can get as well. So I want to bring him in. 3 goals in 11 games from DM role mainly is a very good return. Other players that I want to give some sort of shout out to is Yuki Sommer. He's got 9 assists in 11 league games with 3 goals for the club. He's been a beast. He's that player. He's that guy. He's our best player, in my opinion. He's overstepped Manu Garcia. He is now the talisman, and the Japanese international is absolutely class. It's going to be hard to keep him, in my opinion. With the big game against Sweden to see who wins the group, and as you know, we are a team of bottlers, and we bottled going to the Nations League A. But to be fair, Sweden deserve it. Carlson with a big goal early on in the 10th minute. In a 2-0 victory. Sweden was all over us. We didn't really deserve anything out of the game. And just before half-time, they broke Greek's hearts with a second goal. Ulka Tengensen at left-back just whips one in to finish us off. However, we did finish off our campaign with a win as we went to Northern Ireland and beat them 2-1. Again, they were very hard to break down, but our on-loan midfield player scored a banger, and it was the two DMs in this game that were the difference. They both scored banging goals, and we finished second in the group, with Greeks being very optimistic of us qualifying for the World Cup. At club level, everything is going swimmingly in the league. We are still unbeaten after 15 games played this season. We are 13 wins, 2 draws, 38 goal difference, and 41 points. That's unbelievable. In the Champions League, we are sort of down the bottom end of the table in 29th place. We've had 1 win, 3 draws, and 2 defeats. We've had a tough schedule, which you will see in a minute. We did get a win against Royal Antwerp, and that was big. That gave us another £2 million in the bank, and those draws have added about 700k each. So from a financial perspective, it's working out well. It's only our first season in the Champions League, so we can't ask for much more. And we're not out of the Greek Cup. This time last season, we were not in the Greek Cup. We're looking like we're going to add a new trophy to the trophy cabinet. The schedule in the Champions League has been tough for us, as you know. We've lost against AC Milan, we've had Real San Sebastian, we've had Manchester City, we've had a lot of good teams, and we've got to play a lot of good teams as well. We've still got Bayern Munich and Bayern Leverkusen, as you can see. But our run towards them, we could build up some great form. Panathinaikos, we've got Greek Cup coming up, we've got two games in the Greek League as well. So it's all looking very swimmingly in a domestic perspective, but I just want to show you a few players that have been absolutely key for us this season, and I want to kick it off with Manu Garcia, who is developing into one of the best cams in the league, if not the best cam in the league. He's got 8 assists, 10 goals in 14 games. He's really turning into that talisman that we spoke about during this series so far. He's the man, but it's going to be so hard to keep him. If someone bids £10 million, that's a lot of money to this football club, and I would wish him well on his way. I don't want to see him go, but he probably will. Another player who's just come in this season who's already attracting attention is Japanese international Yuki Soma. The guy's been unbelievable. 9 assists, 4 goals, 14 games. Can't ask for much more from him. He is an assist monster out on the wing. He's been very good. The last player I want to sort of show off, who's been a bit of a revival this season, is Lauren in the Greek Super League. He's got 9 goals in 12 games, which is a big season for him. He only got 10 last season, so he's already got 9, and we're already 15 games into the season. So he could get 15, 20 goals this season. I mean, would I sell him for 7 million if someone wanted him? Absolutely, but those have been the key men for us so far. We are going to round off this episode with the World Cup qualifying group stage draw, and we are in pot 2, which is unbelievable. I feel like that's going to be a big dub for us. We're going to get a big team in pot 1, so we're going to get someone like France, England, Germany, Portugal, but the Swiss would be an ideal draw for us. I think we could do the Swiss. I really think we could beat them if we got them in our group. The others, very tricky. We've beat Netherlands at home before, so that could also be a good draw. Let's see who we get. We're going to run through this automatic draw, and we're going to give you my instant reaction to what takes place. It's going to be a tough draw. There's probably going to be some very tough groups. Group C is what we want. Group C with the Swiss. We're better than the Swiss, in my opinion. We would win that group. I mean, it sounds bad, but we're in with Switzerland. Come on! Yes, we're in with the Swiss. We'll have that. We are in with the Swiss. So we could potentially finish first or second in this group so far. Well, we haven't seen the third seed, so let's see who we could get quickly from the third seed perspective. I mean, Scotland would be hard. Ukraine wouldn't be bad either. So it might be a little bit tricky. We've got Israel. We're better than Israel, in my opinion. We'll beat the Israelis 100%, in my opinion. Who else could we get? Already a group of death building there in Group D. You've got Portugal, Sweden, and Hungary. That is very tough. The Dutch's group is easy. Luxembourg come out. North Macedonia. Well, Greece versus North Macedonia is a massive derby game in the group. Again, we're better than the North Macedonians. We can beat them. I don't see any hurdles there. Group D still looking strong. Group I is a very strong group as well. Finland, Denmark, Belgium, Spain, Ukraine, Czech Republic, and Group J is tough. To finish off our group, we got Lithuania. So it's an easy group. The Greeks should be going to the World Cup. Here is confirmation of that group, and it is Israel, Lithuania, Malta, North Macedonia, and Switzerland. So very easy games for us. The Swiss are going to be the only issue away from home, in my humble opinion. Israel will give us a decent game. They've got some decent players, but we're going to smash the living Jesus out of them. So don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel to see more of this Greece Build a Nation challenge.